We are a peaceful people, struggling we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not the one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. This land is our land now, we're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we are moving from here, make no mistake. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, no, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupanuni and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it. We have that right. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, no, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass, not one golden apple, not one jamun, not a drop of water from the former room. We are a peaceful people, struggling we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, no, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not the one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. This land is our land now, we're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we are moving from here, make no mistake. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, no, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupanuni and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it. We have that right.
All right. Hey, guys. Good day, good morning, good night, wherever you are. We just want to talk with you about a couple of things. Those of you who might be on vacation, might be in Jamaica, wherever you are, whether you're back, you're not back, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in wherever you are right now, we say welcome to the show. Do share the link, though. Share the link and let folks know that we're on. We are going to definitely try to talk about this mess. The mess that we're in right now in Guyana, it is just not something that we should brush aside. And Maduro is a madman. He's a dictator. He's looking for attention and so forth and so on. Mind you, we are in dangerous, dangerous waters right now as a result of Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali. We are in dangerous waters right now. And if you have loved one back in Guyana, you've got to be concerned about them because you never know what a madman can do. We have a madman in Venezuela by the name of Maduro, and we have two madmen in Guyana, Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali. No matter how much they're trying to fancy things up and nice things up as though they are all patriotic and these sort, they're not. They are a bunch of gangsters. They're hustlers. They are the reasons why we are where we are today. Do not be fooled, guys. Do not be fooled. So welcome to the show. Do share the link and let your friends, let your families, let whoever it is know that we're on right now. Wayne Caesar should be on with us. We'll try to get some other folks on as well. And you guys, if you want to call up, just let me know. But we're looking at your comments as well. We want this to be all inclusive, kind of like that package. Some of you, when you go on your vacation, all inclusive. Well, straight up is all inclusive, except the crappos. We don't want the trench crappos coming on to distract us. They will be dumped, and our operator Lemon is right on track to dump them in the gutter as soon as they come with their nonsense. Good morning to all of you. Victor Ben, good morning. Patricia Fraser, Waveney Moore, Hazel Johnson, Desiree Smart Felix. Yeah, okay, Desiree Smart Felix. Okay. Hi, Desiree. Hi, Keith Beresford is listening as well. Onessa, sorry, word sung like Irfaan. So I went to I flat there. And then we have Annette Cummings, we have Savita Richards. We have all of you. We have Karen Benskop. Wow. Members of my family watch this show too. Wow. I'm getting popular. Karen Benjap. That's my sister, by the way. She monitors me so that she can go back and talk name with the rest of the family. That Mark is getting too deeply involved in politics. You know how siblings operate, but she is a darling indeed. She will remember me for Christmas, and she knows my Cash App. She knows everything. Hi, Karen Benshap. Welcome back from your vacation. Hope you guys had fun, and congratulations to a relative of mine, Roger, who got married. They went all the way to Jamaica to have fun, all the way to Jamaica. Valerie Clark, how are you doing? All of you, I don't want to, let me see here. William Bill Cato is watching from New York. What? William reached far by. Brooklyn, New York, William. How are you guys doing? Gavin Caesar is with us too. Gavin, Sherwin E. Green is with us. Sherwin is picking on the family that my sister has the political blood in her. All right. All of you guys. Audrey, how are you doing? Oh my gosh. It sounds like what is it? It sounds like a Best by request show, right? Everybody, how are you doing? How are you doing? And then we have Amin Khan. Brother, I advise you to pray. Okay. What should I pray in? Should I pray a Muslim prayer, a Hindu prayer, a Christian prayer, a Rastaman prayer? Aliyai. Right? What sort of, what do you want me to do? Pray in Arabic? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You want me to pray in Hinduism? Tumewa mata chapita tumewa bandu shavigan tumewa. What else? What do you want me to pray in? Father, Dane Blackness. Why these guys get some names by Dane Blackness. How are you doing, Dane? You and the family? All of you guys, we just want to welcome you to this. It's an impromptu something. We want to talk to you guys about Venezuela and about Guyana and how Jagdeo. Do not be fooled, guys. Do not be fooled. Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali have destroyed Guyana. I repeat, Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali have destroyed Guyana. They were too greedy. They're covetous. All they were doing is just filling their pockets with hundreds and hundreds of millions of US dollars, giving it to their friends and their cronies. They weren't concerned about you guys. They weren't. The ordinary people, whether you're PPP supporters or not, whether you're coalition or what, we look at it, they weren't concerned about Guyanese. Here is when they chip in to think that you guys are Pakus. Here is when they chip in. They're going to chip in and give you guys not even fish and chips money. Because $25,000 you go at, remember on Sherry Street, they had Francine Fish Shop and all these fish shop and you know, those of you guys who go to Guyana and stop at a fish shop. And $25,000 will blow it out at the fish shop one night with the boys and those who go out with the girls. You know, they have girls' nights, boys' nights, and then they have Otisha Day nights. Good. So good afternoon again and welcome. We have serious business we want to talk about. Want to look at what's happening in Canada. Look at what the Canadians have done. Interesting. Security environment is very volatile at the border between Venezuela and Guyana due to the ongoing dispute over the Guyana Essequiba region. If you are there, exercise caution and monitor local media. That is coming from Canada. The US will soon follow. The UK will soon follow. So Guyana right now, my brothers and my sisters, all of you, not just my biological sister who is on spying on me here now, all of you guys, all of you, be careful. I know many of us have our loved ones back home in Guyana. Many of you guys are probably planning to go to Guyana for Christmas. Be extra careful, guys. This is not about propaganda or fear-mongering. Fear-mongering, not fear. Because it makes me sound like Edgil and them boys when you talk about fear-mongering. Fear. Good. So the Canadians are warning their citizens in Guyana. The US will soon follow. And you guys have got to be extra careful. Anything can happen at this point in time. Anything. And I really do mean anything. Francine Cruz, let me say hello to you guys out in the nursing home in Long Island. What Francine is saying, Mr. Ali, can I get a catfish license? No, Francine, that is all he's concerned about, catfish and catfish and catfish. Catfish, catfish, catfish. Let me see, Sudat Parabu. Sudat Parabu is saying here, never not one people, one nation, one destiny, only politicians, families, and friends in Guyana. How can I go? How can I go wrong? How can we go wrong with what's up? Sudat Parabu. Sudat is absolutely correct. These folks are not concerned about the ordinary people. And do you really think that they are concerned about the ordinary people in Port Morant right now? You think they're thinking about the people in Port Morant? You think they care about the people in Blackbush Polder? You think they care about the people in Linden, in Ituni, in Kokwani, in all those areas? They are not concerned about those people. I agree with Mr. Parabu that, oops, I'm too American there, Mr. Parabu. I agree with Parabu, right? They are only concerned about themselves, friends and families. That's what it's about. And we've got to change that. We cannot allow them to hoodwink us. We cannot allow them to run over to us right now, crying, crocodile tears. Oh, we love Guyanese. We are one Guyana. Don't get caught up with that one Guyana crap. Their one Guyana is family and friends. That's it. They're not concerned about anybody outside of that. Don't be fooled. Crocodile tears right now. That is what it's about. Crocodile tears. They have gotten us into this mess. This is why we are where we are today.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
So I'm going to show you guys again why we are where we are. We are where we are now as a result of the recklessness of Barra Jagdeo and the PPP.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Oh, man. Oh. A slight concession? Isn't that? Look where this thing started, guys. Let's try to break it down. Look where this thing has started. Take a look where it has started. Where's Lemon? Come on, Lemon. Look where it has started. Kaito News. Maduro makes Essequibo new state of Venezuela. Treason. Jagdeo has encouraged this. Again, I repeat, Jagdeo has encouraged this. Jagdeo should have already been charged with treason instead of them rushing now to fabricate possibly a treason charge against Malcolm Harry Paul for speaking the truth, or a treason charge against other folks for speaking the truth. They want to muzzle people at this time so that people could talk a PPP language, a Jagdeo language, a Irfaan language. No, we're not going to do that. No, sorry, we're not. These guys are treasonous, Jagdeo and Irfaan and all of them. And now they're with their crocodile tears. Have you seen them at the stadium? They're waving a flag, oh, Guyana, when they were giving people $25,000 and chump change, when they owe those people for the COVID cash grants and all these things. Where were they? Where were they? They were never concerned about the citizens. They were never concerned about anybody. But suddenly they want everybody to be so patriotic when they themselves have been unpatriotic, undemocratic, while they are persecuting most of Guyanese, most of Guyana. They have been doing that. But suddenly, oh, Venezuela, let's come together, guys. Come together for what? When Jagdeo got us into this mess, look what madman Maduro is saying now. Makes Essequibo a new state. Maduro, an arrest warrant should have already been issued for Maduro. This is treason. Don't charge citizens in your own country, Barra Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali. Don't charge citizens in your own country for treason. Go out and issue an arrest warrant right now for Maduro. Right now. That is what they should be doing. But no, they want to pick up a Malcolm Harry Paul and they want to punish him. They want to lock him up for 72 hours. Then they're going to pick up a Trevor Ben. Then they're going to pick up a Rhonda Lane. Then they're going to pick up a Roxanne Myers and lock them up. And they're going to pick these people up. Because that is what they do. They pick these people up and they lock them up. And Jagdeo goes into his office. He goes into his office and you know what he does, right? He engages some of these Venezuelans who are part of Maduro's military. That is what he does. And these guys go back and they take all the information to Maduro. All the information to Maduro. All because of this Pacu named Barra Jagdeo. A Pacu named Barra Jagdeo. You know, I'm on the air and people, sometimes they don't see that we are live. We are live, guys. You got to tell them that we're on air, you know. You got to tell them that we are on air. Unless they're calling to make a comment. Sorry about that, guys. It's Guyanese, you know. Guyanese, and you, look, I don't rush down our Guyanese people at all. I just don't rush down our Guyanese people at all. Sorry about that. Folks were just calling in. Let me just say that we are in the mess right now as a result of Barra Jagdeo. We're not going to let him loose on this here. And so they want to target people People must shut up. People must not have an opinion. Malcolm Harry Paul must not say that the mess that we are in right now as a result of the PPP and the PPP, Jagdeo and all these guys cuss out the guys in the Guyana Defense Force. They're not worth it. They got this. They're not that. All manner of things. But suddenly they want to give them a little house lot. They want to invite their parents over at State House to eat little cook-up, to eat little sweet rice, little vermicelli, and little black pudding with sauce, and maybe throw in a few mitai and pulori as well. So when Malcolm Harry Paul says, look, let the supporters, let Jagdeo and his friends and relatives, let them join the army. Let them go, the same army that they cuss up. They cuss up those people, but suddenly they love them. They stole the army guys' votes. They did all manner of things, but suddenly they love them. They love them. And everybody right now in Guyana must sing a song. Abia one Guyana, one Guyana. Abia what? No, 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 no. Like Auntie Data said, no, 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 not me, not me. We are not falling for this trap, Jagdeo and Irfaan Ali. We're not falling for this trap. Let's go back to what is in the Kaichor News. And you'll see this in the Village Voice. Go and check it out. Maduro makes Essequibo new state of Venezuela. How the heck? Guyanese are sitting in Guyana right now, and a madman all the way in Venezuela by the name of Maduro has made Essequibo a state of Venezuela. Send an arrest warrant out. Issue an arrest warrant for Maduro. Charge Maduro with treason. No, they're not going to do it. We're getting an echo from Mr. Caesar's side, please. But now, they're not going to do that. But they're going to go and pick up Malcolm and dump Malcolm inside the breakdown lockup so he could eat out of a bucket. Then they're going to beat up Brian Max. Beat him up, send their people to beat him up with a baseball bat. Smash up his head and all manner of things. That is what they do to citizens of the country. Then they corrupt the Guyana police force at every level. That is what they do. Every single day we see it. And then what? These little officers accused of some $8 million stuff accused. But the big ones, them who are covering up big murders and all manner of things, and drug lords, some of them are working for drug lords, high up in the Guyana police force, you don't see them being arrested for nothing. Nothing. You guys saw what happened with the Azruddin Mohammed's case. They rushed to cover things up, according to what one policeman said, Bascom said. They rushed to cover things up. They held a big press conference so that they can cover things up. And guess who ended up getting charged? Cybercrime and all these things. This guy, the whistleblower, Sergeant, I believe, Detective Sergeant Bascom. That is how Guyana is running right now. And you cannot fault people to say that the PPP should send these hooligans to go and fight. Yes, we are patriotic, but send these hooligans, this big belly man with that big high-powered weapon in his hand, that big belly man, all of them connected to the PPP, send them to fight. Send Hazruddin Mohammed along with this guy acting top cop, send them to fight. Let them go and fight. No, but they're not going to do that. Let these guys go and fight. Let them join the army. Let them do that. Let them go and fight. One set of people can get. Let them send Azruddin right now. He like gun. They like pick up gun. Let them go and fight. But they're not going to do that. Mr. Caesar, good afternoon and welcome. Now that, according to Maduro, Essequibo is a state of Venezuela, and Jagdeo and all these Pacus and Irfaan are quiet. Every Sunday, every Tuesday, they abuse out the opposition, they abuse out this, they abuse out that, but they can't abuse out and they can't arrest Maduro. Over to you, sir.
You know, Mark, this is typical PPPC. Guyana is very, very vulnerable right now, and there's a lot of exposure, you know, when you look at Guyana, because listen, these guys that sit in government, that people are forced to actually call a government. Let me just put it this way: the PPPC side of the aisle, these guys were never ready to govern. There was never a strategy in place when it came to national security in Guyana. And we're seeing it now with this Venezuela crisis. Now, when the first vice president would have said, Mark, that we can give a part of our maritime space to Venezuela, and I agree with you, that statement was treasonous in nature. He would have invited Dum Dum Maduro to then believe, hey, if he's making a concession to us, then maybe Essequibo does belong to Venezuela. This is how these kind of guys think, you know? Hence this move that he's making now. But listen, Mark, Maduro can say whatever, okay, he wants to say. We know that the case is with the International Court of Justice, okay? And they are going to make the determination. It is not Maduro. He is in trouble in Venezuela, Mark. Hence this aggression, and we're going to see the same type of aggression from the PPPC as we approach elections in Guyana. Same thing. It's just a set of thugs sitting down there in office, doing absolutely nothing for the people but oppressing them. Have the people living in poverty. Same thing in Venezuela, same thing in Guyana. We saw Maduro shaking Jagdeo hands. These guys are all buddies. These guys are all buddies. Barra Jagdeo has failed the Guyanese people, along with Irfaan too, because he's the rubber stamp president sitting there, could never be his own man, could never make his own decisions. And come 2025, he's not going to drop Jagdeo and say, now I'm ready to make my decisions. No, time is up. Time is up for the PPPC. They have failed Guyanese over and over again, Mark, and this is just another example.
Absolutely. Another example, indeed, if you're now joining us, it's 39 minutes after 1 o'clock in beautiful Guyana. I'm looking at some of your comments out there. We are not going to allow Jagdeo or Irfaan to hoodwink us into thinking that they're all patriotic. They have gotten us into this mess. They have gotten us into this mess. Guyanese are afraid to go to Guyana for Christmas, and rightly so. The Canadians are warning their citizens to be extra careful in Guyana. Extra careful. Something, because you cannot trust this madman, Maduro. Somebody that Jagdeo, we are told that Jagdeo struck a deal with them. And as Wayne alluded to earlier, and we're going to play this clip so that you guys can be reminded that this is what Jagdeo did. This is why we are in the mess that we are in right now.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
So this guy is asking that a slight concession is made. He tried to zigzag out of it. There was no way out of it. He cannot. This is what he said. Give Venezuela a slight concession. And now Maduro sets up temporary government for Essequibo. He gives mining and oil companies in Essequibo 3 months to leave. And all, if this is not treasonous, then something is definitely wrong. We've got to realize that when you have a corrupt set of people in office, these are the things that would happen. Billions and billions of dollars these guys stole from the Guyanese people. Yes, Jagdeo and Irfaan, that is what they do. They're unpatriotic. We must not pay them any mind. But listen to what Irfaan had to say. And he was trembling and he was talking fast and oh this and oh that. It made absolutely no sense at this time. Just look at his facial expression and body language. Like people are supposed to be afraid of him. Listen.
I address you on an unsettling development in relation to the unlawful claim by Venezuela to Guyana's Essequibo region, which constitutes more than two-thirds of Guyana's national territory. Tonight, President Maduro announced several measures which his government intends to take in enforcing the outcome of the referendum held on December 3rd, 2023. As I made clear from the date the referendum was first announced, this is a direct threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence, and in violation of fundamental principles of international law enshrined in the UN and OS charters. The measures announced are in blatant disregard of the order given by the International Court of Justice on December 1st, 2023. Guyana views this as an imminent threat to its territorial integrity and will intensify precautionary measures to safeguard its territory. I have tonight spoken to the Secretary General of the United Nations and several leaders, alerting them of these dangerous developments and the desperate actions of President Maduro that fly in the face of international law and constitute a grave threat to international peace and security. Also, Guyana will tomorrow bring this matter to the United Nations Security Council for appropriate action to be taken by that body. Further, we've engaged CARICOM, the OS, the Commonwealth,
I honestly don't know what the heck this guy is saying at this point in time when they have wrecked the country. We all want the best for the country. Yes. We're all patriotic. Yes. We all do believe that Maduro is a madman. Yes. We know that Maduro is punishing and starving millions of Venezuelans. We know that Maduro jails his political opponents. We know that Maduro persecutes his citizens. But also all of the things that we can accuse and say that this is what Maduro is doing, it's the same thing they're doing in Guyana. Mr. Caesar, what's your thought on Irfaan and his dotish speech there?
Well, first of all, Mark, Ali and Jagdeo would have jumped ship and left the people of Guyana in crisis. Went on to Dubai, shake their hands, knock their glasses, and did what they had to do. Now he's back, and he thinks that he speaks for Guyanese. They have no strategy. Okay, their strategy was to go out to the stadium and party. That was the strategy right there. Okay, these guys don't know anything about what's going on with Venezuela, Mark. They don't have any kind of strategy in place. And it's shameful. Because, Mark, listen, we would have understood that ExxonMobil and a lot of the large oil companies would be in Guyana extracting oil. This is not the first time that Venezuela, have had this posture at the border. We know that once the extraction would have begun, that there was a chance that Venezuela could make mischief. We should have been prepared. We should have had a robust plan in place. But when you have dunces sitting there in government, they feel like if everything is just going to be normal, not when you have a neighbor like Venezuela. And then, Mark, with the influx of Venezuelans that was coming into Guyana, that should have raised the red flag. We should have been concerned because they were coming in by the thousands, the tens of thousands. Okay? And we should have stopped that. Now we have all sorts of elements sitting in our country. Some of them we probably can't even identify. So it is shameful. It is disgraceful. The government, like I would have said, has totally failed the people. Over to you, sir.
And many of our bilateral partners, including the United States of America, Brazil, the United Kingdom, and France, The Guyana Defense Force is on full alert and has engaged its military counterparts, including the U.S. Southern Command. By defying the court, Venezuela has rejected international law, the rule of law generally, fundamental justice and morality, and the preservation of international peace and security. They have literally declared themselves an outlaw nation. Nothing they do, however, will stop Guyana from proceeding with a case in the ICJ or stop the ICJ from ultimately issuing its final judgment on the merits of the case. We will not allow our territory to be violated, nor the development of our country to be stymied by this desperate threat. In addition to this statement, I wish to respond to two questions. One from Stabrook News, which states, and I will read the question, will the Guyana government report President Maduro's announcement this evening to the United Nations Security Council and International Court of Justice in light of the latter's order that there be no aggravation of the circumstances? In relation to this question, absolutely. Guyana will be reporting this matter. We have already spoken to the UNSC.
They've already destroyed the country in so many ways. What is it that you're reporting? What is it that you're talking about? We are in the mess as a result of
Recording
these
in
guys.
progress.
We
Okay,
are.
so we're gonna.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We're getting a serious feedback from Mr. Caesar's side. Yeah, I don't know what these guys are talking about or whether they feel that Guyanese people are pacus, that we can't see or we don't know what's going on. We already know what's happening. We know what they have done to Guyana. We know what they have done to corrupt Guyana. We know that they have stolen the money, the PPP. They give it to their friends and their cronies. They starve the entire nation. But look what they're doing now. Look how they're behaving or attempting to behave as though they're patriotic. They're not patriotic. Their backs are against the wall at this point in time. Let's go over to Venezuela and you get to hear how Maduro is punishing its people. Even though this candidate, Maria Corina Machado, is the candidate for Venezuelan opposition so far, she is claiming that Essequibo belongs to Venezuela. But she's saying she wants the ICJ to make that final determination. Fair enough, but I disagree that it is not. Venezuela doesn't own any piece, any part of Guyana, any part of Essequibo or whatever. But at least she's sensible enough to know, let the court decide on that final outcome. And so this is what Maria has to say.
The controversy is being now disputed at the International Judiciary Court. And it's there where we need to put our arguments together. On the other hand, what happened this Sunday in Caracas was a total failure for the regime. The images speak for themselves. People simply did not show up, even though they were threatened, even with losing their food stamps or their jobs. And this is certainly a huge defeat for Nicolás Maduro and his regime.
Did you go to vote because you didn't want this referendum?
Absolutely not. I think, as I said before, it was inconvenient for Venezuelans' rights that are being now disputed at the International Judiciary Court.
After the votes, Nicolás Maduro announced that Venezuela would get this region back, that a new and, I quote him, powerful phase was about to start. Do you fear, as some, as...
Did you guys hear? She said it was a failed attempt. A failed attempt. Failed by Maduro. And that Maduro's regime is a criminal regime. She said that. We're not the ones who are saying it. We know that. Just like in Guyana, Jagdeo and Irfaan, they're a failed regime. They're a criminal regime as well in Guyana. I hope this is a sign that we're going to see regime changes in Venezuela and regime change in Guyana. As Wayne Caesar, we have lost him. Lots of echoing coming from the side of, from Mr. Caesar's side, but we have lost him. As Wayne Caesar says, or usually say, time is up. Time is up for Maduro. Time is up for Jagdeo. and Irfaan Ali. Time is up. They're destroying the country.
Brazil, as we've heard, that there could be a military intervention that could maybe put the electoral calendar in your country into question.
Well, the fact is, Nicolas Maduro and the regime are desperate because they know they have already lost the election. I mean, more than 85, 90% of the people rejects the regime, as we saw this weekend and as we saw on the October 22nd with a huge turnout on the primaries. So they're, in the past being able to do absolutely crazy things, and they're desperate at this point. But I do believe that the sense and the rational thoughts, not only of other sectors among the regime but also in the Venezuelan military, will prevail, and that we will do what we should do, which is send a very strong and well-supported arguments at the court, which we need to convey before April, so that the Essequibo territory will prove that it belongs to Venezuela.
In late October, you won popular votes to be the opposition candidate. Does this mean that for sure you will be the...
Most people have no clue that in 2020...
Yep.
Because we've seen in the past that the opposition is often very divided. Is there a guarantee that you will face Nicolas Maduro and no one else?
Well, no one can guarantee that the regime will perhaps promote another individual with the idea of dividing the will of the people. But it was so strong, so profound, so emotional what we lived on October 22nd. It was 3 times or 4 times our best estimate that actually the amount of people that came out. We ran out of ballots in many places, even though people were, as I said before, threatened in order not to participate. So I do think that that will not work. And that certainly Venezuelans today, we are more united than ever, and we're conscious that we do have a huge opportunity to defeat this regime and move ahead in a very complex and delicate transition to democracy.
Right. There's still an obstacle to you being able to run. The regime claims that you're ineligible. There were negotiations in the last few days conducted through Norway, obviously with the U.S. Involvement, and there seems to be a compromise. You will be able to lodge a complaint before the top court to clear your name. Will you do so? And do you believe that this is the last obstacle to your candidacy?
Certainly, it is not the last obstacle to free and fair elections in Venezuela. I mean, this is a path that will be full of huge threats because the regime knows that they will lose power, and I will face Maduro. And certainly the international community and the US have been very firm in terms that they will not get benefits and sanctions will not be removed if there are not free and fair elections. And you cannot talk of free and fair elections if the people's choice for their candidate and leader is not permitted to participate. So as I said before, this will be, full of threats, but I'm sure that we have the strength and the will to fight to overcome every single one of them, and we will see Venezuela freed and rebuild with the participation of all of us, those who are here and all around the world.
Yes, but do you believe, just to be very precise, will you go before the court in Venezuela to do what was agreed in the last few days to be able to run?
That has not been decided yet because the regime has not complied with what they had said they would do before November 30th. Political prisoners have not been freed. And the fact is that if they not comply and with what they offered, they certainly will not do that with my illegal disqualifying. So we are moving ahead day by day. But I can assure you that I will be the candidate that faces Nicolas Maduro and defeat him in the presidential elections next year.
Well, clearly, from what you're saying, there's a lack of trust in the regime. And in the past, you thought that this lack of trust.
All right, absolutely. You're hearing there that Maduro regime is a criminal regime. You're not hearing that from folks outside of Guyana. You're hearing it from people there in Venezuela. You've heard that 95% of the people of Venezuela didn't go out. They didn't support the referendum. And so I agree with Maria, the opposition leader's presidential candidate so far. That's what we're hearing. And of course, we're seeing all signs of a regime change in Venezuela. Yeah, a regime change in Guyana, possibly. You never know. I agree with her with almost everything except the part when she still insists that Essequibo is part of Venezuela. That is not true. But she wants a peaceful resolution through the court. And I agree with her on that. And I'm optimistic that the court will rule in favor of Guyana. Thankful. We've got to be thankful for the coalition for that wisdom in ensuring that this matter goes to the ICJ. That's the wisdom of the coalition, APNU, AFC coalition government. These Pakus in office, they don't have any wisdom. And all they talk about is money. Meanwhile, look what's happening, guys. Meanwhile, take a look. This is the breaking news right now coming out of Gordon Mosley. Gordon Mosley's page. Gordon Mosley's reporting here that senior government and military sources have confirmed to news source that contact has been lost with the crew of a Guyana Defense Force helicopter that was flying in an area close to the Venezuelan border between Arua, forgive the pronunciation, and Eterengbang. That is what's happening right now. This is what is happening right now. The Guyana Defense Force has since dispatched special forces teams and search and rescue teams to the area. It is a developing story. A Guyana Defense Force military helicopter is said to be, they have lost contact. And usually when contact is lost, obviously something has happened. Because if you lose contact, it's either, and we don't want to say the worst, it's either Maduro is being mischievous and Maduro will have to be charged with war crimes and all manner of things. Let them take Maduro away. Let them take Jagdeo and Irfaan away. They're the ones who are causing the problem right now in Guyana. All of them, not just Maduro, but Irfaan Ali and Jagdeo. This is what these guys have caused. And now they want to rally around ordinary people. Oh, must go. Must go and I don't know what's happening. Let's head straight to Guyana and get in touch with Sergeant. They kicked him out. They kicked him out of the Guyana Defense Force because they didn't like what he was doing for. Guess for what? He was standing up for vendors, and so they removed him from the Guyana Defense Force for now. Former Mayor Ubraj Narain, also a pundit. Good morning to you, Mr. Narain. With the latest development about this Army Guyana Defense Force helicopter, there's contact lost. What's happening, sir? Talk to us.
Hi, Mark. It's not a good afternoon, but to the viewers and yourself, greetings. This is very stressful at this point of time. The tension in the atmosphere is not right. And those statements, I'm following the Vice President of Venezuela and the President Maduro statement towards the Venezuela, towards the Essequibo region of Guyana. It is worrisome. I listened to His Excellency and he assured all Guyanese will be safe. But I said this on Freddie Kissoon's show, and I said it recently somewhere else I've been, that I believe that Venezuela will invade Guyana, and because of the aggression, this gentleman Maduro, the aggressive mood he will do anything right now to invade our beautiful land, Guyana. I haven't heard from His Excellency on this matter. I saw it in the news, but I know for a fact that the Guyana Defense Force has since dispatched special force team and search rescue team to the areas, several areas in the Essequibo region. This is becoming worrisome, and I believe the president should really come out and to put forward a plan. He should meet with the opposition as soon as possible. Parliament should convene as soon as possible to have a way forward. And an emergency plan should be kept quietly for our people.
Indeed, Mr. Narain, joining us there from Georgetown, Guyana, the latest development. If you're now joining us, please share the link and let people know what is happening in Guyana. According to this Gordon Mosley report, and we have noticed an update from Mr. Enrico Wolford as well. The media, they are going through with this here, that the military sources have confirmed to news source that contact has been lost with this GDF helicopter. And they are claiming that the Guyana Defense Force has since dispatched special forces teams and search and rescue teams to the area. This is what is happening right now as this story is developing at this time. What's the mood like on the ground, sir, right now?
It's very tense at this point of time. The atmosphere is not the atmosphere, but I can say this much, Mark, that I, as a Guyanese, a former staff sergeant, I'm ready to defend my country, my nation, at any cost. It's either
Let me not to interrupt you, sir. Sorry about that. But Irfaan and Jagdeo kicked you out.
yes, they disembodied me, but my nation and my people comes first. Jagdeo and Irfaan should go and get one of these outfit on and work with the military at this point of time. I saw Maduro in several of his pictures and video with his military uh, commander and his brigadier and all of them. You know, these people are planning heavily for invade Guyana. I heard the AG make mention they will inform the UN Security Council. I hope that is already they already finished to inform them. We will need backup. Guyana Army cannot and will not able to do this work by itself. We will need other countries to come on board. We will need resources, both machinery and human resources, to defend our border. But I am ready, Mark, to fight for my country, my nation.
Well said. Pandit Ubaraj Narain is ready, but he was kicked out because he stood up for the vendors. Irfaan and Jagdeo said, "Get out, take off this uniform. We don't want you. Just go." All because he stood up for some vendors while he was serving as mayor of Georgetown. And these are the sort of unpatriotic folks we have in the regime there in Guyana right now. This is the reason why we are faced with this sort of situation currently in Guyana. And if you're now joining us, a breaking news story. Again, breaking news story, just bringing to your attention that a Guyana's military helicopter is missing. They have lost contact with this. And usually it's either we are hoping that it's probably some mechanical problem and that they had to just basically land and whatever. We are not going to assume the worst at this point in time. We don't want to make family members panic. Looking at this helicopter, Mr. Narain, about maybe 8, maybe 12, maybe what amount of occupants there?
I would not able to say, Mark. I don't know how much people is in that helicopter. Maybe I it's a helicopter can able to hold maybe about 8 or 12, but you don't know if that is the amount currently or the helicopter had. I don't know. I can't really say. The only person can give those information is the commander in chief or the chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force.
All right, Padit Obraj Narain from Georgetown, Guyana, joining us here. The latest development is the Army helicopter. They have lost contact in the Itereng Bang area, and that is close to the border of Venezuela. People are assuming, mind you, assuming that this helicopter may have been, and just, I don't want to just sorry, I just don't want to. I'll take this call. Pandit Narayan, continue talking, please, for a moment.
Thank you, Mark. I just want to say to my Guyanese people, let us stay put and let us hope. Let us hope for the best and not the worst. But we as leaders has to defend our borders. We as citizens has to stand united to defend our borders against the Maduro regime. Um, it's a sad situation indeed that what our country is facing at this point of time. And it is good to know, Mark, and to remind people of the first executive president of this country, Lyndon Samson Forbes Burnham, that he used all means, trade unionists and all organization to get to the international community when it comes to our border issue back in the days when he as the executive president. I'm trying to find the he said that here. We agreed that Venezuela, notwithstanding whatever friendship may be at the social and personal levels, is an imperialism aggressor, and we are agreed that our collaboration on this question is indeed an anti-imperialist existence. In the final analysis, even if we have no friends with weapons or prepared to supply us with weapons or assist us with weapons, we, the Guyanese people, have faith in ourselves, and come the Venezuelans, for every 1,000 blows, we shall be prepared to deal one dead blow. And even if we have to die, we shall die, and not like hogs, but like men. Lyndon Forbes Samson Burnham. That was his word, 17th of July, 1968.
17th of July. Yep, sorry about that. 17th of July, 1970.
68.
68. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. 1968. Obraj Narain, the former mayor of Georgetown. We are joined by veteran journalist and editor-in-chief of Capital News, Enrico Wolford. Enrico, any update on this latest development? Good afternoon. Concerning the missing GDF aircraft.
Good afternoon. Not so far, but the reports are what we are hearing out there, that the helicopter has lost contact with the Guyana Defense Force. Obviously, it's piloted by Guyana Defense Force personnel, and there is some concern. I think the president at the moment might be engaging the Guyana Defense Force, and there is some concern as to exactly what happened. And the concern also has to do with the personnel believed to be on board.
Okay, concerns indeed. We're hearing that there's a Colonel Shahid is on that aircraft as well. It's unconfirmed, but we're hearing that he is the highest ranking Guyana Defense Force officer on that helicopter that they have lost contact with. What has your sources in the Guyana Defense Force, what are they saying about this, sir, if anything at all?
Well, I can't speak to that. We are trying our best to make as much contact with the sources within the Guyana Defense Force, but we've been unsuccessful in doing that. In fact, to be quite honest, some of the sources are out of the jurisdiction at the moment, and we are just gathering information from the various reports that are coming in. So it's that's the challenge of this kind of fluid situation, you know, Mark, over the years. We have had challenges in Guyana going all the way back to the late 1960s. From the time we've had the Ankoko incident in 1966, then we had the Rupununi incident in 1969. And now we've always heard of aircraft being buzzed by persons from Venezuela. We are not clear at this point whether anything involved Venezuela at this point. So, although the speculation would, of course, be that, but in terms of clarity, in terms of what is happening in Guyana at the moment, all that we know so far is that the helicopter has lost contact with the Guyana Defense Force has lost contact with the helicopter.
They've lost contact. Go ahead, Mr. Narang.
An update here from Demerara Wave said that the helicopter was being piloted by veteran Army pilot Mike Charles. Among others on board is the husband of a former government minister. Eight servicemen.
8, so it's about 12 of them in that chopper. That former, husband of a former government minister, I would just say, without not alarming or making people panic, it's probably the husband of former minister Jennifer Westford, probably her husband. We're hearing Colonel Shahid also is on that flight. Thank you so much for that update, and unconfirmed, mind you. It's coming from Demerara Waves, but it's unconfirmed, Mr. Enrico. I know you have, Wilford, I know you have a lot of your reporters on the ground. You have your ears on the ground. You are there on the ground. What's the mood like of the people there right now, sir?
As I've said over and over, the mood is one of trepidation from my perspective. And again, I'm just a journalist looking out as to how people are reacting. There's a certain amount of uneasiness in the society because they've never really had this kind of tension going on between the two neighboring states. Guyana's Spanish-speaking neighbor to the west. So it will be a serious matter as we flesh this story out. Once the reports are confirmed with regard to what exactly happened, then I think it will become a lot clearer as to what has happened. Do remember, Guyana has had skirmishes, as I said, in the past. Lieutenant Colonel Hartley Liverpool had to go in blazing into the El Tigre area in the New River Triangle. We have had the kind of heroics that has happened, but we also have to be concerned once we've lost contact with, we have to find out whether we have indeed lost that aircraft. So far, it is not clear whether that has happened. So the report at the moment is that we have just lost contact with.
And I agree with you that we should just go with the report that contact has been lost. Contact has been lost. It doesn't mean that the aircraft is lost or missing or these guys are injured, but we just want to ensure that all is well. It could be that they just landed somewhere, probably relaxing for a few minutes. So who knows what's happening? We don't know, other than they have lost contact. Mr. Narayan, anything else you wish to add? Are you picking anything else up at the moment?
I just like to add the aggressive statements from the vice president of Venezuela is totally disrespectful to all Guyanese. You know, I read her statement on Twitter. It is totally disrespectful to all Guyanese, and we are now de facto of the Essequibo region. The Essequibo region belongs to Guyana, and it will always belongs to Guyana.
Mr. Wolford, from a journalistic standpoint, you've covered some very horrible stories, controversial stories, all manner of things. What's your description of what's happening now in terms of coverage and the recklessness coming from Venezuela?
Mark and all the listeners, this is a very, very serious development. If it goes south, as the Americans like to say, it's an extremely dangerous and serious development in the country. We have to hope for the best. We have to hope that, as I said, contact just has been lost, and the GDF party, the GDF helicopter, they're somewhere out there. One of the challenges of Guyana has always been information, monitoring, and ensuring that you have intelligence on the ground, information that can get back to the capital, and of course to the communities. One of the things that was done, and I don't want to say it happened under my tenure at NCN, and I'm not doing this to pat myself on the back, but one of the good things about the location and the fact that radio and television stations were put in Lethem, were put in Madia, Bartica, and one was being worked on in Kangaroo and the Mabaruma area, was precisely for this reason, so that information can get back and people could make informed decisions having regard to what has happened. At the moment, we're depending on satellite and satellite phones and cell phones and probably even private cable and television services for information. So it is very important, therefore, to have those facilities on the ground, because, as the mayor said, as far as Guyana is concerned, Guyana has always administered, governed, and ensure that the Essequibo region is part of the indivisible state, according to Guyana's constitution of Guyana that it inherited from then British Guyana. So it is important for us to have those information hubs across the length and breadth of Guyana.
It is important indeed. I know you're busy trying to get some more information. If you can just bear with us for another minute, Enrico. Let's head back to Mr. Narayan, former mayor of Georgetown, and Pandit. Pandit Narayan, can you say, since you have served as member of the Guyana Defense Force until you were kicked out by Irfaan, what do you think is the mood like of the soldiers right now? Talk to us.
I do have friends still in the army, which communicate to me, and they said very clear that they are not equipped with the machinery or the to battle if there happen to be a war or invasion of Venezuela. They don't have that kind of equipment and machinery to do so. Our personnel within the army, we cannot compete with Venezuela. The Venezuela, bear in mind, got war tanks, war planes. They have warship. We don't even have those kind of equipment in our Guyana Defense Force, and that's why we have to prepare. They actually, while they have to do their duty towards this nation, and that's why I salute them, and I believe the Guyana Defense Force, the government of the day, should reward them beyond. They have to go there and leave their families and everything else to protect this nation. And I salute them. I salute them. And we all should do the same. You know, it is not even 40% of, of energy we have to defend our borders if Venezuela to invade Guyana. So the boys, they're just doing their duty, their constitutional duty that they took. When you actually have on the clothes of an army, there is a duty you have to perform. It's either life or death.
Either life or death, indeed. We're still trying to get some more information from the ground about this missing. Well, they have lost contact with this. We are told that former PPP government minister, her husband, that's what we're being told on confirmed report. I believe Beaton, that's the name. Then you have Shahid, Colonel Shahid, and you have Mike Charles, and so forth and so on that helicopter. Unconfirmed report. We don't know where the helicopter is, other than they have lost contact with this helicopter. We are told that those are experienced soldiers, military officers on that helicopter. We don't know what has happened, whether they just landed and they just decided to relax for a half hour or an hour or something. But what we do know is that they have lost contact with this helicopter. Are you fearing the worst, Sergeant Pandit Ubra Narain?
I prepare my mind for, like I make mention, for invasion, because you have to prepare our people physically, mentally, emotionally. You may say yes, you have everything under control, and you may say let us hope for the best. But hoping for the best, hope is a word that it's on a scale. It can happen and it can't happen. So I prepared my mind. The only thing that I will be worried about is my family. I have to ensure that their safety, my children's safety comes first. So anything else, I will be here with all other leaders and with my Guyanese brothers to defend our borders. If you die, Mark, you die for a good reason. You die for your nation, right?
Absolutely. Lots of them in the
That is
PPP.
what we must not be fear of. If you die for your nation. And
Lots
your
of them.
nation, this country, is Janam Bhumi, the land of your birth. You must defend until your last breath, right? Put aside politics, put aside political party. We must defend it with our last breath.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said there. We're hearing that the helicopter, they have located the helicopter. They have located the helicopter. That's the report that we're getting now coming into us. They have located the helicopter. Jason, who served in the Guyana Defense Force in the Coast Guard section, he's a Coast Guard. Good afternoon and welcome. What's happening? They have located, we're hearing reports, they have located the helicopter. But good
Yes,
morning,
Mark.
sir.
NCN, they locate the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
they
from
just
sea.
go ahead, go ahead.
No,
Thank you.
sorry,
Go ahead, Mr.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just spread some other information, but nonetheless, I just would like to. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to remind the audiences that the role of the Guyana Defense Force is to defend the territorial integrity of Guyana, to assist the civil powers in the maintenance of law and order when called upon, and to contribute meaningfully to the economic development of Guyana. But in this crisis, I believe that people are lacking the needed information. Citizens need some sort of information and not for them to be wandering around as to what is next and where, because fake news can definitely tamper with the minds of people and you have a psychological warfare.
All right. For those of you who are have been told that the helicopter is missing, they found it. It's safe. The crew members, they're claiming that hey, they had bad weather, they communication, they have lost communication, bad weather and communication. Most of those guys on the chopper, and I'm sorry that we're going in this direction. Glad that they have recovered chopper and all. Everybody is safe and so forth. Sometimes you can't put things past the propaganda nature of the PPP regime to tell the guys them just sit down in a corner for a little hour and let me hype things up. You never know. That's just my
That's
opinion.
what I'm thinking at this point of time.
Yeah.
That's
What are you
I'm
thinking, Bandit? Let's hear
I'm
because
thinking
a
the
lot of
same. You know, I'm thinking the same that you make mention of, and these things does happen in politics.
yeah that hey, guess what, guys? Let's hype things up a little. Go in a corner, park up. We're gonna say we lost communication, and let us see where it goes from there. And then they're now reporting that it was quote unquote bad weather, and communication has been affected as a result of quote unquote bad weather. Probably, I don't know if it's to hype things up. I don't know, and I don't want to
But
be
I want to agree with my colleague Jason that information is very important, and we are not hearing anything from the president. We are not hearing anything. All what the president keeps saying that we will be safe as Guyanese, right? They will report the matter to the UN Security Council. Do tell us something. What are the plan if Venezuela decide to invade Guyana tonight? What will happen to the Essequiboans? What will become of the residents in Port Kaituman, Region 1, and all these areas? We must know what will happen to them.
Yep, we've lost the mayor there for a quick second. Mayor, let's get over to hear exactly what Irfaan Ali had to say. And this was hours ago, mind you.
Clear from the date the referendum was first announced. This is a direct threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence, and in violation of fundamental principles of international law enshrined in the UN and OS charters. The measures announced are in blatant disregard of the order given by the International Court of Justice on December 1st, 2023. Guyana views this as an imminent threat to its territorial integrity and will intensify precautionary measures to safeguard its territory. I have tonight spoken to the Secretary General of the United Nations and several leaders, alerting them of these dangerous developments and the desperate actions of President Maduro that fly in the face of international law and constitute a grave threat to international peace and security. Also, Guyana will tomorrow bring this matter to the United Nations Security Council for appropriate action to be taken by that body. Further, we engage CARICOM, the OS, Commonwealth, and many of our bilateral partners, including.
All right, enough of that. Mr. Benjamin, your take on what Irfaan Ali has just said there as we prepare to wrap this segment up. Please, your take.
All right. First of all, that in itself is more an aggrandizement. This is just you have a mandate, but it is not in sync with your background or your knowledge of the holistic picture of what is really unfolding in the country. And so, one of the things I first look at was his body language. That in itself doesn't augur well into fitting with the message. It's like the subject and verb agreement. The subject and the predicate doesn't match up with the subject. And so, in itself, he is in a place where he is just reading from a paper, and in itself, it leaves you with what's next. Why would you want to showcase your plan to the world instead of communicating in a way to build confidence in the people and do what you have to do, but to give your enemy the information or time frame of within what you're actually helping the process of them preparing whatever defense should it be materialized. And that in itself is bad judgment on his part, as I would refer to him as presidents. You understand? Yeah. So that is my take on it, but I still believe that as for citizens, I'm much more concerned about the citizens and not what they are currently doing for mere optics, because instead people are concerned. People don't know if they should send their children to school, if they should remove themselves from another location for safety, whatever. People are in a conundrum, and that in itself is not what you want for any country or any location. And so to eradicate that kind of fear or thinking, it simply requires accurate, relevant, real-time information. When you look at that, you ask yourself, is there any such conduit? And obviously, it's an absolute no. All because of failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dear. Jason Benjamin served in the Coast Guard part of the Guyana Defense Force. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, Mr. Benjamin. All right. We are hearing again, just in case you guys just joined us, about this helicopter that they've lost communication with the helicopter. They have now regained contact, and all crew members are safe. All crew members are safe, which is a good thing, mind you. And lots of questions going through people's minds, but they're glad that the helicopter is safe. Some folks are wondering whether it was deliberately just a loss of contact. I'm not going to get involved with that conspiratorial theory, but dealing with the PPP, of course, you have to wonder all sort of things, mind you. All right, so we're glad that they are there, that they are alive, and they are well, and that but the problem still continues with regards to the propaganda by Maduro and the fact that Irfaan Ali and Jagdeo, they have nothing proper to say, absolutely nothing proper. We were planning to join some folks at the border side. We have lost contact with them now, and this is legitimate, right? Reason now in that area, people are losing contacts, whether it's phone, whether or whatever. So we're trying to locate some folks to come online with us right now to give us an update at the border. But what we heard earlier is that folks are removing themselves out of the area for their own safety. It is something that Irfaan Ali and others are not going to tell you. They're actually covering that up, but people are panicking in the area, because take a look at what this madman Maduro has said, that Essequibo is a new state of Venezuela. If this isn't reckless on the part of Maduro, and of course we expected this sort of recklessness from Maduro, especially targeting a reckless government that they have there, a so-called government that they have there in Guyana at this time. It is just a shame and a disgrace that you do not have a proper response to those criminal in the Maduro administration. So the criminals in the PPP regime cannot respond to the criminals in Maduro regime. So that's what's happening at this point in time. Meanwhile, guess what's happening? Meanwhile, the Guyana National Reserve, Every single thing that they have condemned and they bad mouth and they bad talk, the PNC and Burnham for national service and all these things. Look at what is happening here. Isn't this a form of karma? Seriously, look what is happening here right now. Guyana National Reserve, they want it back. They're going to have the national service. All manner of things they did and they condemned Burnham and the PNC for. More food, grow local, buy local, everything they're adopting from Burnham, every single thing. And they've gone right now into the Guyana National Reserve. And they want members to go and join. But you've got to be between the ages of 18 to 35. Bailey missed me there. 18 to 35. That is what they want. This regime has no shame, man. Absolutely no shame. But the PPP, Irfaan Ali and Jagdeo, they will go after innocent citizens and lock them up and charge them. Look at what they, under the PPP regime, mind you, under the PPP regime, look at what happened to Brian Max recently. Under the PPP regime, all because he spoke out about them. And a couple days after, 3 guys or 4 guys with baseball bats, this is what they did to Brian Max. And not so long after, this is what they did to Malcolm Harry Paul. All because Malcolm Harry Paul said, why don't supporters of the PPP, that the PPP should encourage their supporters to join the Guyana Defense Force instead of insulting members of the Guyana Defense Force, saying that they need free bed, they need free food, and all manner of things. And Malcolm Harry Paul was right. Let the PPP, let Jagdeo, let Irfaan, let they send their folks also to join. Let them send their folks also to join. I know I have tons of friends and relatives who are members of the Guyana Defense Force, tons of them. But also Malcolm Harry Paul, in a post not so long ago, said that in 1983, this is Malcolm Harry Paul for his country. 1983, he was 23 years old when he joined. 23 at this time, in the Guyana Defense Force in 1983. 40 years later, Malcolm Harry Paul is saying that he is still willing to serve Guyana. And time for PPP supporters to step it up. Time for Guyana People's Militia. The same that Burnham had under the PNC, the proper Kosa Burnham. Everything them Kosa Burnham for now. Everything they Kosa Burnham for now. They are introducing. Everything reintroducing. Everything they Kosa Burnham. Oh, karma, yeah? Karma. And Jagdeo, and I bet right now they're probably sending their loved ones, their family members, send them out of the country quick. Hey, I catch a flight and go quick. Run out Guyana, quick. Right? And so the soldiers that they usually cuss up, they abuse out. They said that the PNC going to use soldiers to kick down doors and harm PPP supporters. All manner of things they said, right? All manner of things they said. And now look who they're depending on to go and defend the border. Look who they're going to send to defend the border. Suddenly, these guys are so important. They're a fast-track house lot application. They sit down at Freedom at State House with their family and eat little food and drink up. That is what they're doing. And meanwhile, Jagdeo, this is what is on record. This is no propaganda, has promised to give a piece of the maritime, share it with Venezuela. Jagdeo said it, not Malcolm Harry Paul, not Wayne Caesar, not Sue, not Robin Simon, not you guys, not Ann John, not Janice Booker, George Tanner. No, they didn't say this. Look who said this. Look who said this treasonous thing. Take a look.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Jagdeo said it, guys. And those of you who are not Guyanese but are watching, some of you may have media houses, because I noticed Jagdeo and Irfaan. Irfaan was on CBS. They were running around. They're just talking. They were on BBC. But I bet you guys should send this clip to CBS. You guys should send this clip to BBC. Circulate it as well. Circulate it as well to other media houses, international media houses. Circulate it and let people hear for themselves what Jagdeo said.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
We're going to replay it again because we want those who are watching us at this time and from the maybe international media houses, newspapers, whatever it is, television, radio. We want you to hear the very guy who's now asking for help, right, for himself, because they got billions of dollars that they stole from the Guyanese people. They have wrecked the country. They're dictators. They persecute people, charge them wrongfully. 3 years now, Roxanne Myers wrongfully charged with electoral malpractices. Her matter is languishing in the court. Every time they turn up, the prosecutor isn't ready. Lowenfield, the former CEO of the Guyana Elections Commission, same thing. Mingo, same thing. Trevor Ben, former CEO, the best CEO of the Guyana Lands and Surveys, persecuting all these people and others. All of them are being persecuted under this regime. And then we got another report coming. The chopper has not been located. Look, we're not gonna make you guys anxious and false report. We don't know. I just got word that the chopper has not been located. I don't know what is happening, but we just leave it as it is. Word just came from someone who is in the media, mind you, that the chopper has not been located. We don't know how accurate that is. I don't want to spread any propaganda on this show. But getting back to Barra Jagdeo, this is what Barra Jagdeo said. And he's not charged with treason as yet. Maybe he should be charged with treason.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Again, Barra Jagdeo has offered to make a slight concession to Venezuela. Barra Jagdeo, who sits there as the vice president of Guyana. He sits there as the vice president. But yet they go on BBC, and this is why we need a strong opposition, man. A strong foreign affairs individuals, a strong PR we need, because when these people lie to BBC, they lie to CBS, they lie to foreign media, they got to get immediate, swift reaction coming from the opposition to set the record straight, to call BBC and ask for equal time, to give the other side of the story. That yes, people are all together. Nobody wants madman Maduro, criminal Maduro, to go after Guyanese and take any piece of land and them sort of things that, nobody wants that. Nobody's being unpatriotic. But when they go and they lie, when they go on BBC and CBS and they try to sound nice and try to look good as though they are patriotic, the opposition, and if the opposition can do it, that's another story. If they can do it, all of us should play our part to contact BBC. Let BBC get this here as to what Jagdeo actually said.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
All right. Okay. Again, let them hear it.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
A slight concession. What if the BBC reporters knew of that statement from Barra Jagdeo? What explanation does he have? Is he going to blame the PNC? Is he going to blame the opposition guys now? What explanation? He's got on tape saying, look, share it with Venezuela. Now, and the CBS guys, the CBS News team, they got to know that as well. Send these things to CBS, send it to BBC, and anytime, anywhere, Jagdeo, because Jagdeo shouldn't be speaking about Venezuela and Guyana right now. He shouldn't be speaking. Now, let's get back to this helicopter. We're hearing for the second time, and this is coming from a source within the Guyana Defense Force, that the helicopter is still missing. The helicopter is still missing. That is what we're hearing. It is still missing. Lots and lots of conflicting reports. We don't know. Again, I repeat, we don't know, but we just got to go with our sources. We are just going with what our sources, they're indicating to us, that the helicopter is still missing. Again, the helicopter is still missing. That is the report that we are getting at this point in time. There is no press conference. There's nothing coming from the installed PPP regime about the situation in Guyana. All we did see was a press conference, a so-called statement by Irfaan Ali, looking very, very nervous about whatever. And then we're seeing that there is a conversation now. The Guyana Minister of Foreign Affairs they had a phone conversation with the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana. If I had my way, the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana would have been expelled with immediate effect out of Guyana as a result of this madness by Maduro. This is what should have happened. Expel the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana. Expel the ambassador with immediate effect. How many of you guys think that that is a necessary move at this point in time? Expel him with immediate effect. And so we have the war of words. The vice president of Venezuela is basically Rodriguez, is getting on their nerves now. Those corrupt guys in Guyana, Irfaan Ali, is pot and kettle arguing with each other, right? A corrupt Maduro regime and a corrupt PPP regime. War of words, a corrupt PPP regime. That is what we're seeing, those war of words right now. If you go to the Village Voice newspaper online, you'll be able to pick that up as well. We're running through some reports to see what's happening in Guyana at this point in time. But we are hearing unconfirmed report that the chopper is still missing. Unconfirmed report says that it was found. Unconfirmed report says that it is missing, still missing, and we're getting lots of documents here. Search and rescue operation launched. We're going to probably get to that, but we're trying to get to some other reports as we get some of our sources are sending us information. They're rushing now to talk to. They're rushing now to talk to folks. We're seeing one of the propaganda media houses. They're saying that breaking news: GDF helicopter crew found safe. That's what they're saying. But other sources are saying that the chopper is still missing. the chopper is still missing. So we are not going to be speaking much on the matter at this time because we don't know which report is accurate. At this time, we don't know which one is accurate, but we hope that all is well with the chopper and those who are on the chopper. Yeah. So I'm reading some of your comments. You're talking about whether the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana. I've noticed that the foreign affairs minister had a phone conversation with the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana. At this point in time, there's nothing to talk. There's absolutely nothing to talk. Expel, send the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana, send that person packing with immediate effect. No time to pick up the phone and talk. Absolutely not. They have already made their minds up. Those criminals in the Maduro and his administration, they have made their minds up. Now is not time to pussyfoot around with Maduro. Now is not time to sit and talk no nice talk with him. Send the ambassador packing with immediate effect. The PPP regime has got to be strong. They have got to be strong, guys, in all of this. They cannot appear to be the pussycats that they are. They would chase their citizens out of the country. Chase them out of the country. Chase them out of the country. I noticed Neville Kisoon has joined us. Neville, we've got to go with reports on the ground. We are not rushing with this body said that, this body said that, this body say helicopter found, this body say helicopter still missing, this body say helicopter found, this body say it missing. There's not a chauffeur who said this, that said this, that's. It's giving all of us headache right now because we have another story, and this story was just 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, Gordon Mosley. 10 minutes ago, it says, breaking news, GDF helicopter still missing. Still missing. GDF helicopter still missing. Press statement from the Guyana Defense Force. Listen, guys, let's not run with propaganda and who say it's found and who say it's missing. I'm not going to say it's been found. I'm not going to say it's been missing. This is what a statement 10 minutes ago from Gordon Mosley, and this is a press release from the Guyana Defense Force. The Guyana Defense Force, in collaboration with private sector aircraft operations, has initiated a search and rescue operation to locate a missing GDF Guyana Defense Force Bell 412 helicopter. The helicopter departed base Camp Ghana at 9:23 hours this morning, and with carrying 3 crew members and 4 passengers. The aircraft transmitted an emergency locator transmitter signal at 11:20 hours from coordinates approximately 30 miles east of the western border. The ongoing search and rescue operation is impacted by adverse weather conditions in the area. Further information will be provided as soon as they are made available. So based on this press release coming from the Guyana Defense Force, it is saying, mind you, it is saying, unless there's an update, it is saying that the aircraft and the crew members are still missing. I repeat, according to that release from the Guyana Defense Force, the helicopter, the chopper, and its crew members are still missing. You're not hearing that from me, that it is missing, because I don't know whether it is missing or not, but we are going with the reports that it is still missing. The aircraft, and I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together, guys. The aircraft is still missing, meaning that they have lost contact with the aircraft. But if the aircraft is missing and the crew members are safe, come on, guys, let's get our calculators and try to do this math. The crew members, I see some of you are saying the crew members are safe, but the aircraft missing. The crew members are safe, but the aircraft missing. at this time. Crew members are safe, but the aircraft missing. How can we add things up with that? And I'm not going to be spreading propaganda at all, but I'm reading some of your comments. I know you guys are just thirsty for the right information, and I can understand that. You guys are thirsty for the right information. I'm reading some of the messages that I'm getting, but thus far, we don't know what is accurate and what is not accurate at this time. We just cannot say what is accurate and what is not accurate. Again, I noticed some of your comments in terms of agreeing that the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana should be expelled with immediate effect. There's no time to talk. Absolutely none. No time to talk at all at this time. No time to talk. Guyana does not have an ambassador to Venezuela. They have refused to receive the ambassador designate, that is Van West Charles. Yep, sorry about that. Richard Van West Charles, Dr. Richard Van West Charles. He cannot sit there in his office in Venezuela as Guyana's ambassador. And therefore, if they are refusing to accept Guyana's ambassador designate to in Venezuela, in Caracas, then in equal measures, you've got to send the Venezuelan ambassador back to Venezuela. They've got to send that person back to Venezuela. Now is not the time to sit down and be pussycats. Do not sit down and be pussycat, guys. Do not, I repeat, do not sit down and be pussycats. Send the Guyana ambassador to Venezuela. Send him packing right off back to Venezuela. Go dispatch a message, send him back to Venezuela right now. Usually they have Mr. Paul Slow and others. Paul Slow and others. Yes, we are aware. They have already stated who the occupants are, but we don't know whether they have been located or not. But we're hearing reports, and the last coming from the Guyana Defense Force, and we'd want to trust that report coming from the Guyana Defense Force that the chopper is still missing. So I'll go with that report coming from the Guyana Defense Force being circulated by the media houses in Guyana. I'll go with that report. Guys, do not fall prey to propaganda at this time. And then we're hearing a boat is missing. We hear all manner of things now. Things are missing. Things are missing. This is missing. That is missing. I don't know what else it is that we can say, but I'm definitely not going with the rumors at this time. Yeah, I'm just going to pause to read some of your comments. Meanwhile, you can continue to listen to what this guy has to say. I don't know if it's helpful.
The United States of America, Brazil, the United Kingdom, and France. The Guyana Defense Force is on full alert and has engaged its military counterparts, including the U.S. Southern Command. By defying the court, Venezuela has rejected international law, the rule of law generally, fundamental justice and morality, and the preservation of international peace and security. They have literally declared themselves an outlaw nation. Nothing they do, however, will stop Guyana from proceeding with a case in the ICJ or stop the ICJ from ultimately issuing its final judgment on the merits of the case. We will not allow our territory to be violated, nor the development of our country to be stymied by this desperate threat. In addition to this statement, I wish to respond to two questions. One from Starbuck News, which states, and I will read the question, will the Guyana government report President Maduro's announcement this evening to the United Nations Security Council and International Court of Justice in light of the latter's order that there be no aggravation of the circumstances. In relation to this question, absolutely. Guyana will be reporting this matter.
Will be Guyana. Guyana will be reporting this matter. Yeah. Report all the matters that you guys persecute people in Guyana. You guys do all manner of things. You insult people and all these things. Jagdeo sits at this press conference, his so-called press conferences, and cuss out all Guyanese, cuss out everybody from the opposition, from people who may say things that they don't like to hear, and all these things. That is what they do. But now they're crying and running like little, crying and running and running, crying and running, crying and running and hollering and begging. But when they're persecuting those people in Guyana, all manner of things they do, they cuss out. He wasn't a bully, not a big bully. Was in Buxton insulting Dr. David Hines, calling Dr. David Hines, who's this joker? And all manner of things. In front of Pegasus, they're shaking up vehicles and all these things. All these things. All these things. All these things. Shaking up vehicles, doing this, doing that in front of Pegasus. Now they're running and begging and, they spoke to this and they spoke to that.
We have already spoken to the UNSG, and early in the morning, we will be officially writing the UN Security Council. We will be informing the court of this development. And as I said, in the next 24 hours, we'll be informing all our bilateral partners and different agencies, including CARICOM and Commonwealth and the OS, on this recent development. Let me be very clear that President Maduro action is in open defiance of the ICJ order. In my opinion, he's testing the mettle of the ICJ. He has taken a lonely and worrisome road of neglecting his responsibility as a member of the UN family. An adventurous and reckless path that can only bring instability to this region and can only create more uncertain circumstances for the Venezuelan people. We urge President Maduro to rethink these missteps and to act and behave in accordance with international law. All our actions and everything we do from Guyana is aimed at ensuring this region remains a region of peace. We want nothing. Our only ambition is for this region to remain a region of peace, a zone of peace.
You could probably,
integrity
on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
And sovereignty of Guyana to be respected. We ask for nothing more or nothing less. So yes, this matter will be reported. We've already engaged. And the second question is from the Guyana Times. What is government's message to investors in light of Venezuela's position? Our message is very clear. Your investment is in a safe, democratic, stable country in which the rule of law prevails. You have nothing to worry about when you invest in a country that governs itself in accordance with the rule of law, that stands on the side of democracy, and that understands what true freedom is. So there is nothing to fear.
Give us a break. Give us a break. We're not buying that crap coming from that crap. We're just not buying that at all. You have your folks in Guyana living in fear. You go into communities such as Mocha and they live in fear. That is what they do. You bulldoze their properties, their businesses, all manner of things you have done. And so people are not buying this crap. Now you're trembling. When you guys were in bed and hug up and kiss up Maduro, now suddenly y'all running and all that, but you're scared. And this, y'all are no different than Maduro. These guys in the PPP are no different than Maduro. So you get a press release from the Guyana Defense Force is saying that, and I just came off with a source on the ground, because I'm not dealing with propaganda. I'm not dealing with who said this and this body said this and who said that and who. I'm not dealing with that, guys. So a source on the ground in the military is saying that they are still to confirm. And a media operative is still, a senior media operative is saying that they just not so long ago got a press release from the Guyana Defense Force. And the press release is indicating that they're still in search of the missing chopper. And now the question is whether that press release went out late or whether it is accurate. And so all these things they have to put together now to find out whether that's a belated press release coming from the Guyana Defense Force of all persons. And so folks now are being very cautious. Members of the media, they're being very cautious in this report at this time to see whether the Guyana Defense Force press statement, which basically says that they're still looking for. That is the latest. They're still looking for it. So guys, we don't want to tell you guys that they found the helicopter when in fact they haven't. We don't want to tell you guys that they haven't found the helicopter when in fact they have. But what we are going to say is to be very cautious with the information that you're getting and the sources and so forth. I've just heard that a boat is missing as well. I don't know how accurate that is. I just don't know. So I don't want to be blamed as spreading propaganda. I just don't have the information at this point in time to confirm whether a boat is missing too, or whether the helicopter is still missing. We have to get these things confirmed, and we have to ensure it's the right source we're getting these things from. I tried to make contact with National Security Advisor Jerry Govaya. You guys could smile about that. He is probably busy, not getting him on his phone at this time. Like I suggested, he's probably still busy. I don't know who is the shadow minister of national security. That should be Ms. Geeta Chandan, attorney at law, and she's also a former magistrate. I don't know what information she has or what have they been putting out there at all. I don't know if anything. I just cannot comment on that. And neither am I going to say that in the midst of all of this, that the opposition should rush to have a press conference right now. But what they should be doing is they should be prepared to have a press conference. Or in fact, they should have already held a press conference this morning, since this morning, to respond to the Maduro stupidity, where Maduro is saying that Essequibo is a new state of Venezuela. The opposition, with their experienced folks in foreign relations and knowledgeable individuals in the military and these things, should have already held a press conference. And now they should be preparing for a second press conference. Now, they haven't held a press conference on the issue. I don't know what's going on. News is just basically blanked out in Guyana. Irfaan Ali gone under his bunker to hide. Jagdeo gone in his hammock to hide. And people just have to speculate. And so I'm reading some of your comments. Somebody said this, somebody said that. Somebody said about this, somebody said that. Somebody said this thing, somebody said force got found. Then the Guyana Defense Force is saying something totally different from what we have been hearing. And so we can just read your comments, because everybody has a source somewhere. Everyone has a source somewhere. Everyone has a source somewhere. And we are waiting right here. We are waiting to hear that it has been officially confirmed that officially confirmed that the chopper has been located and the occupants are also okay. As we speak, I'm trying to send off some messages to some folks in the Guyana Defense Force and in the Guyana Police Force as well to find out what's the latest with the missing chopper, so that before I go, I would want to leave you guys with some bit of information, one way or the other, either that the chopper has been found, and we do hope that that's the case, as what we've been hearing. It's unconfirmed, and then we're hearing also unconfirmed that it is still missing. So zigzag, the propaganda in war and all these things, and then we're hearing a boat is missing and all these things, and then Jagdeo is missing in action. Irfaan Ali is missing in action, but they're now sending Todd, to go and have phone conversations, probably kind of like phone conversations. Hi, how are you doing? What's going on? And now is not the time for that. The Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana should be expelled with immediate effect. Should be expelled with immediate effect. Should be expelled with immediate effect. So that is exactly what should happen. But it's Guyana. Yep, we're hearing that there's a boat that is missing. It's supposedly they have it on a hush hush. Boat missing, and it's hush hush at this time. Boat missing, but it's hush hush at this time. Boat missing, but it's hush hush at this time. All manner of things we're hearing. All manner of things. As I read some of your comments, I'm still trying to ensure that I get some information. Before we go, everybody's in hiding. Irfaan is in hiding. Jagdeo is in hiding. Robeson Ben is in hiding. The Guyana Defense Force Chief of Staff is in hiding. And this is where these guys should have already, the Guyana Defense Force, the senior guys in the Guyana Defense Force, the PPP installed Major General, Brigadier Omar Khan, they should have already called a press conference. There's no such thing at this point in time. It appears that they are enjoying the propaganda. They love this sort of news, whether they're party to it, to some sort of widespread propaganda and conspiracy. I don't know, but I also don't know why is it that the Guyana Defense Force has not, at this point in time, called a press conference to report on one, that the chopper has been located and the crew members are fine, are okay, or that they are still looking for the missing chopper and its crew members. One way or the other, they should have a press conference instead of issuing a press release that should have been out an hour ago, but came out just about 10 minutes or 15 minutes ago, after there are reports that the crew members and the chopper have been recovered. So something isn't right. Let us try to be smart folks in all of this. It could very well be some sort of a game coming out from the PPP, some sort of a game to rile the nation up, rile people up unnecessarily. And that's just my take, right? So we've got to be very cautious with the news. We've got to be cautious with reports. We've got to be cautious with our comments as well, and be extra careful, guys. Extra careful. Let me welcome, let's welcome anti-fascism in India. And this individual from India is saying that they support Guyana and they're in India. Aapke naam kya hai bhai? All the way in India. Welcome to Straight Up 107.1 FM. Welcome to Straight Up. Again, guys, I will urge you all of you to refrain from running with unsubstantiated reports at this time. Let's not fall in the trap, the PPP trap, to spread propaganda about this missing, that missing, this missing, that missing. This is not. It could be a diversion. It could be a diversion on the part of the PPP regime. At the last minute, belatedly, they're now scrambling up to get things going. I'll take a quick break and I'll be right back for just a moment, please, guys.
Ready to support us. They've assured us of their support. And all we want is for these missteps to be corrected by President Maduro. And for Venezuela and the government of Venezuela to commit itself to peace and to act in a manner that is befitting of a member of the United Nations family. To my fellow Guyanese, we are here to ensure the safety of this country, the territorial integrity of this country, the sovereignty of this country, and to protect every citizen. So, for appropriate action to be taken by that body. Further, we've engaged CARICOM, the OAS, the Commonwealth, and many of our bilateral partners, including the United States of America, Brazil, the United Kingdom, and France. The Guyana Defense Force is on full alert and has engaged.
All right, guys. Again, unconfirmed report as Lemon removed that Paku from there. Unconfirmed report again. It came from a highly placed source in the Guyana Defense Force that the crew members are missing, still missing. The chopper is still missing. Again, I'm saying that this phone call that I just got is from someone who is connected with one of those crew members, and that that particular crew member has not been able to make contact with family members. They're calling and the phone is ringing out, and the Guyana Defense Force is also maintaining that the chopper is still missing. The chopper is still missing. I'm not the one who's saying that. So that's why I'm saying, guys, please do not type the propaganda. Do not fall prey to propaganda from the PPP, because this could very well be what they want, to rile people up. As they say in Guyana, boil people blood up. Boil the blood up. Be extra careful with the reports. Let's use reports as strainer. Yes, let's use a strainer right now, because somebody may whisper something to you quickly. It might not be accurate. They might have been third or fourth hand information. Be extra careful, guys. That's all I can say. Just be extra careful. Again, I repeat, thus far, we don't know whether this chopper, whether they have found the chopper and the crew members are safe. We don't know. Lots of mix-up stories we're hearing. Lots and lots of mix-up stories. Even with individuals. Even with individuals who are senior, high up in the Guyana Defense Force or the police force or wherever else that might be given information. I still treat that with caution until it is officially confirmed. Because we're hearing everybody saying, oh, they locate the aircraft. Then another set saying the aircraft is not located. Then that some senior journalists on the ground are saying that the aircraft has not been located. Then some senior officers in the Guyana Defense Force are saying that the aircraft has not been located and the crew members have not been located. So lots and lots of stories we're hearing, guys. Lots of stories. Be extra careful how you treat the information that you get. Some family member, some friend might call and say, yeah, man, they find the aircraft. And then some of you guys come, yeah, they found the aircraft. Mark, they find it, And then somebody else come, oh, they haven't found the aircraft as yet. And somebody else, oh, they found the aircraft. I want to get I-turn, as they say in Guyana. I don't want to get I-turn. I'm going to try to make contact now with someone else on the ground to ask directly. I know some of us are in the U.S. We still in France, in Japan, and all over, and we're reporting that the aircraft is missing. But those on the ground saying that the aircraft. Let's get directly to this. I'm not saying that some of you guys with information online that we should totally disregard it. I'm not saying that at all. I wouldn't want to insult any one of you with that in whatever information that you guys are getting as well. So please. I see Tolaram is asking a question here, and I suppose Tolaram is being a bit mischievous. Tolaram Rai is saying, so how we will pay back our debts if Essequibo get taken away? But that's a good question. Whenever Jagdeo has his press conference, that's a good question to ask. How the thing will pay back by? You think Irfaan and all will go cut cane and all kind of thing, work in the bauxite industry and things like that? Yeah. Yes, sir. No. Yeah. What's happening? All right, guys. Another piece of report. Another piece of report, guys. And thank you for that comment, Tolaram. Appreciate it. Who will pay back? Not the ordinary citizen. The ordinary Guyanese got to walk another 100 years by. Another 100 years to pay that back. Another 100, 200 years to pay that back. But I just got another report that they got a little signal about the chopper, a little signal, and Jagdeo and Irfaan, they're very tight-lipped on this at this point in time, including the installed chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Omar Khan. They're very quiet about this here. And let's try to be smart and put two and two together. That a responsible agency like the Guyana Defense Force, it should be, albeit it's run by inexperienced, not all of them, but some inexperienced military officers. And so if you are going to send a press release out, after there's already reports, or there are reports out in some section of the media, especially the PPP controlled media houses, that the chopper was located and the crew members are fine. And 15 or 20 minutes after that report is out, then the press gets a report from the Guyana Defense Force, a press release saying that they're still in search of the chopper and the crew members. Again, guys, I want all of you to put two and two together. What is happening? What really is happening at this point in time? There has been no other word from the Guyana Defense Force on the matter. Absolutely nothing else as it pertains to this chopper. And this chopper, for me, it's becoming a mystery story. And we've got to, in my opinion, as I try to fix this puzzle, not the smartest on the block, but try to fix this puzzle to see whether this is a propaganda or where this propaganda is coming from. Yeah.
Lord Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give about $40,000 for buy good rush.
Yeah, another source there said that the chopper is still missing. Credible source saying that another credible source, mind you, senior media operative and another senior person from the Guyana Defense Force and a relative of someone who might very well be one of the crew members, relatives of someone, or two, sorry, who might very well be uh, connected to two of the crew members, sorry, and that they are saying that there has been no word at this time. Guyana Defense Force is saying that the chopper is still missing. And I just asked a question to one of my sources whether the crew members are missing. And the person just had to probably, in a very subtle way, convey to me that I may have attended the University of IFLAT. That if the chopper is still missing, then, and that is something that I asked you guys earlier to do the math, because we were told that the crew members were found, but the chopper was still missing. I don't know. Lots and lots of confusion at this point in time. Lots of confusion at this point in time as to whether the aircraft is still missing, whether the crew members are still missing, or whatever. But as of now, we would want to go by what the Guyana Defense Force press release has stated, that the crew and the aircraft and the chopper, they are still missing. That's all. That the crew members are still missing and the chopper is still missing. That is what we're hearing at this point in time. So maybe we will just take a quick coffee break or something. But that is all, guys. Don't run away with propaganda. I noticed some of you are saying it's been found. Some of you are saying it's still. Most of you ran away with the propaganda. We heard that the aircraft was missing. I tried to call the National Security Advisor, Mr. Jerry Govaya, probably busy in meetings. I haven't heard from him. I tried to call the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, no response. All of these guys, not only the aircraft is missing, but they seem to be missing as well. You cannot find them at this point in time. They are quick to, Jagdeo and these guys are quick to rush out. They're quick to cuss out members of the opposition. They're quick to lock up members, send police to lock members up of the opposition. They're quick to do all these sort of things. But when you try to get information on a very, very important matter, all of them, the last time Irfaan Ali was live on his page was 16 hours ago, guys. 16 hours ago, and now they're gone. They're missing in action. Just like Sue, they're gone. Missing. Guys, for now, I'll just pull the curtain down. But I just leave you with the unconfirmed report that the chopper is still missing. And the last report was from the Guyana Defense Force, a press release from the Guyana Defense Force indicating that the chopper is still missing. And the folks in the PPP regime are tight-lipped. Nobody is speaking. Nobody's cussing out. Nobody's cussing out Maduro. Nobody's holding a press conference, not even the GDF, nothing. No one is saying a word. And note the big mouth that Jagdeo has, big bad wolf, cussing out, abusing out at his press conferences, so-called press conferences. He has nothing to say, absolutely nothing.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Hi, sorry about that, guys. But here's where we'll pull the curtain down. I just heard from a senior member of the Guyana police force, that is, basically the same thing. It's still unconfirmed. Nobody knows whether it is missing, but people are working. People are working to ensure that you guys get the correct information. And I don't want to. I don't want to leave you guys with any sort of propaganda or things that are not clear. At this time, it is unconfirmed that the chopper is missing with about 8 or 10 crew members. Mike Charles being the senior pilot, he's also said to be missing at this point in time. We have some other senior members of the Guyana Defense Force are still missing, according to unconfirmed reports. But if we go by what the Guyana Defense Force issued, their press release is that the chopper and the crew members are missing at this time. If we have an update, you can check my page, you can check other individuals' page, you can go on Village Voice and find out what's going on. You could go on Enrico's page to find out what's going on. Gordon Mosley as well. Those guys are on the ground in Guyana. But be careful, though, folks. Be careful with the PPP propaganda pages. Just be careful with that. For now, we just hope that everything resolved and the chopper and the crew members are okay. And like I said, as soon as we get that, you'll either see it on my page or any one of those individuals, not those who work for the PPP propaganda media houses. But we will report it to you guys as soon as we get that. God bless you all, and we got to continue to pray for Guyana, all the people of Guyana. So long.
Not a blade of grass. We love the open country, the Roman way, and the escalate. This time of night, we make 50 century. This is a home we love, and we need to keep it. We have that right. No, we ain't giving up no money. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to me. Not one Dosaki, not one rice bread, not one for us.
Not a blade of grass.
Not one golden apple, not one.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
We are one people, one nation, one destiny.
We are a peaceful people, struggling we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces, from foreign places, talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not the one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Yes, my name is Jasmine Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.
Even more our border. And from someone, a low life like that, you.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area